Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the all-new 384 show. I'm your host, B. Perry. This is my next new project, and I'm super excited to get it going. As some of you may know, my good buddy Trey, him and I, we had the No Flex Club podcast, and we really enjoyed doing it, but we decided that we were just going to kind of take a break from it. Especially with everything going on, it's really difficult for him and I to record together. I decided I'm going to kind of start a project on my own, and here it is. It's officially up and going, and I got a lot of really fun stuff planned. I'm not exactly going to do a podcast like last time. It's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be kind of like a talk show. I think it's going to be super, super fun. So let's dive right into it. First of all, what is the 384? Why the 384? Let me explain it to you. So basically, I was just thinking about some different names. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to kind of start up the show and finally came across the 384. Now, what is it? It's an area code. Where does it belong? Absolutely nowhere. I've looked it up and it says that it could be in like Kansas City, Kansas, not the big Kansas City, the smaller one that's actually in Kansas. But then when you look up their area code, it's different. It's not the actual one. So if you have an actual 384 area code, good for you. I really like the area code, so I figured me, you, anybody that's on the show, they're all going to be part of the new 384 area code. It's a way for us to connect with each other. I'm the 384, you're the 384. All my other videos, if you enjoy any of those, because I'm going to do other stuff besides just the talk show. It's going to be really fun, and we'll all be members of sort of the 384 community. It's also a great thing to put in front of every single segment that I have. I can just put the 384 in front of it, and then it becomes sort of a special thing for us, and it's a really lazy way for me to do it, but it also makes it a lot easier. So let's jump right into what is the 384 show. You know, what's it going to be about? And really, it's just going to be kind of a variety show. It's going to have a bunch of different segments each episode. Some segments might be different than others. So let's just jump right into our first segment, which is going to be 384 News. So on this segment of 384 News, I want to talk about kind of a situation that obviously we're all in. You know, we're all kind of going through this whole quarantine together. I'm sure you guys have heard about this over and over and over on anybody you listen to, even on TV, radio shows, podcasts. They're all talking about it. At first, I wasn't going to get into it, but I decided I would kind of touch in on things that wasn't fully talked about. You know, I don't want to sit here and talk about all the, the different cases and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to kind of touch base on the sports. There are some things going on that I never even knew that is absolutely insane. Did anybody else know that the UFC was still happening this entire time? Did anybody else know that? The UFC, the most full contact sport that you could possibly imagine, is the one sport that never stopped. They stopped for like a split second because the fighters were getting isolated in their own countries. They couldn't leave, but they're still fighting. There was just a fight not even a week ago. It was on May 9th. Ferguson El Kukui, one of my favorite fighters. I'm not super big into UFC. I just love that his nickname's El Kukui. He was supposed to fight Khabib, the one who beat McGregor, but Khabib is stranded in Russia because of the quarantine. So he's fought, I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce his name, Justin G. His last name, I'm just gonna call it G because I'm not even gonna, yeah. They literally fought on the 9th. When was the 9th? Friday? Last Friday? I don't even know what day it was. Ferguson lost to Justin G. Justin G beat him 5th round. I think it was TKO. How is that even possible? And not to mention the event that they fought in 2 hours before that final card fight. One of the fighters tested positive for the virus, along with 2 of his cornermen, the guy who does the, the shoulder rub and the slap in the face, little pep talk, the pep talk. Yeah, they tested positive 2 hours before that, which means they fought in the same octagon. Now, I'm sure they had some sort of special, they were cleaning in between and all that stuff, but how insane is that? And if we want to get even more insane, can we just talk about Fight Island real quick? That is a real thing. Fight Island. It's real. They're building it. It is on a disclosed location. Nobody knows where it is, but it's going to be an island during the virus where they're going to have events and fights with no audience, just them. That is insane. How are you going to have a sport, grown men and women are almost butt naked, throwing hands, shedding blood and sweat, all in a cage, inside a cage? Where's the sense in that? Where is the sense in that? I don't understand. It's cool. UFC, I've always been into UFC, but now is not the time. I don't understand Take Major League Baseball, for example. Baseball is actually starting to have a comeback. Korea has officially gotten their baseball league back up and going. I haven't seen any of the games personally. All I know is they have a small audience. I think they can have somebody every certain amount of chairs away from each other, and then it's every other row. And then the seats that don't have actual people in it, they've put faces like boop, 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 boop. Like they've actually put faces on all the other seats to make it look like a full house. That's hilarious. I love it. But they're bringing it back, and that's good to see that they're adjusting and they're trying to get things back to normal while also keeping things balanced. And that's what matters. You don't want to jump in too quick and bring you right back to square one, because then you're not going to get anything done. So I'm really glad to see that they're actually slowly bringing things back to normal. And I know the MLB, I know they were starting to put some kind of rules down, like they're not letting them spit anywhere on the field. So like sunflower seeds are a no-no. They don't want you spitting or doing anything like that out on the field. I don't know about the dugout. I'm not sure what they're doing about the dugout. The one sport where you could actually eat while you're playing, they're starting to kind of put the kibosh on eating. I know they're doing a couple other things in between, no high fives before, in between innings when you can throw baseball, to each other. They're not letting you do that anymore. Like it's almost like one baseball like per out. That's kind of interesting. You don't really, you don't really see that every day. I'm glad to see it that Major League Baseball, they're getting ready to do things. Houston Rockets, they just opened up their practice facility today. The NFL is working on opening up their practice facilities. The NHL, they're a real traditional sport, real traditional program, so they want to finish up last season, and I think they're going to try doing a 24-team playoff where the normal would be 16, so have a little bit of a bigger playoff, so they can kind of get a Stanley Cup champion for this year, and then they can, start working towards next year. So that's good. I'm glad to see people are getting back into the swing of things, except for the UFC, who are just, woo! Yeah! Full force. All the time. It's great. So I don't know what they're doing. But Korea's done a great job at getting the baseball league back. And on top of that, they also just hosted a ladies golf tournament. Regular 4-day tournament, and the winner ended up being Park Hyung-hoon. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I really did try. But Park shot 17 under in a 4-day tournament. That is insane. Really good for her on her end. Ladies tournament aside, there was a huge golf event yesterday. I'm sure a lot of you watched it. If you didn't watch it, you probably at least heard of it a little bit. 4 of the biggest names in golf right now, including the number 1 golfer in the world right now, Rory McIlroy, all played together on a golf course that was never nationally televised, never on TV, ever. A really private golf course in Florida, the Seminole Golf Club private thing. First time ever on TV. Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson, 2 of my favorite golfers. Dustin Johnson went to Coastal Carolina University, and Rory McIlroy, number 1 golfer in the world right now. Ricky Fowler, the golfer who brought fashion back into the game, because the 90s and the early 2000s was so bad. It was terrible. Shirts were not fun at all. You remember when Tiger Woods was wearing those gigantic shirts? Not a good time. Ricky Fowler was the first one. He was the one who always wore the lime green and the orange. The biggest face for Puma. You always see him for Puma. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit off topic here. Rory and Dustin Johnson versus Ricky Fowler and Matthew Wolff. One of the craziest swings I have ever seen. This man looks like he does a dance before he swings, and it is insane, but he makes it work. They had an awesome charity event. They did a skins game, so it was 2-on-2, and if any golfer, did the best on a hole, then there would be like a bunch of money towards skins. Altogether, there was $3 million donated to charity for COVID-19 relief, and that's really cool. So not only are you bringing sports back, you're giving people hope, you're giving people something to watch, and you're putting into the cause. So that was really awesome for those golfers to donate money like that, and really be an entertaining day, because they were just battling it out. They were tied neck and neck all the way through, and they ended up ending in a tie, so they had to go to a tiebreaker where it was closest to the pin on hole number 17, I think. Yeah, which was a par 3. Rory McIlroy, number 1 in the world, shocker, ended up wrapping it up the deal with one single shot from Rory, knocking it just a little bit closer to the pin than Wolf did. They made $1.1 million for charity. That one shot was a $1.1 million donation, so it ended up being over $3 million. That alone is an awesome thing to see. It was really fun to watch. I'm sure they're going to be replaying it all week, so if that's something you want to check out, definitely look into it. But next Saturday, they're taking the next step up, and it's a big step. Even if you don't like watching golf, I don't watch a whole lot of golf. Like, I'll watch the big tournaments, the majors. I'll watch, like the big guys play golf. I like to play it more. I've just played golf today. Next Saturday, one of the biggest events to ever happen in golf is here in less than a week, depending on whenever this video drops. I know it'll be before then, so you got to watch it. Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers in history. The man's got 109 PGA wins. 15 of them were majors. He's going to be inducted in the World Golf Hall of Fame in 2021. He is tied for first in the most wins in PGA history. And on the other side, Phil Mickelson, lefty, the man. He's won all 4 majors. He's got the career Grand Slam, top 10 in wins in the PGA, already in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Round 2, the match. Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson. Now, last time they played, Phil beat Tiger. He won $9 million in a single match. The trash talk this week has been real, but it's not done there. It's gotten even better. On Tiger Woods' team, already one of the GOATs is going to be paired up with Peyton Manning, another GOAT. Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods on one team against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. 2 of the biggest names in football and 2 of the biggest names in golf are going to be duking it out on Saturday, live on TV, 3 p.m. Watch it on TNT or TBS, whichever works for you. Even if you're not a fan of golf, even if you don't like watching golf, you're taking 4 of some of the greatest athletes in the history of sports, putting them all together at once. Just golfing, having a good time, but also competing like crazy, because you can't have 4 guys like that and just play golf for fun. It's gonna be a competition to the end. Not to mention, it's a rematch between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. They've already played once, and he's not gonna accept another defeat. That's gonna be super fun to watch. But beside the golf aside, just the conversations they're gonna have, they're gonna be mic'd up, and it's gonna be super awesome. So you gotta check that out. It's gonna be cool. And they're donating over $10 million throughout the day to relief for COVID-19. $10 million. That's huge. Really good for those guys. I think it's an awesome thing. So that is this Saturday, 3 p.m. The match, part 2, Champions for Charity. The trash talk this week has already been crazy. They've been in Skype calls with ESPN and different guys like that. Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods, they're throwing around their green jackets, which you get for winning the Masters, the biggest tournament of the year. Definitely check that out, but that's about all we have for 384 News. So now we can transition into our next segment that I would like to call Unpopular Opinion. Now, Unpopular Opinion is basically exactly what the title is. I'm going to take something that's controversial. I'm going to state my opinion. And I might choose something that I might choose a side that's more controversial just to kind of get the conversation going. You might agree with me, you might not. And I figured the topic of this week, since we were just talking about golf, we might as well just kind of stay on the same thing. But don't let that scare you away though. I'm going to keep it generic so everybody can be involved. I'm not going to get into like the deep parts of golf. I wanted to just kind of cover the basics. First of all, is golf a sport? Yes. Absolutely, golf is a sport. You cannot argue that golf is not a sport. It's not just a game. It's not just a hobby. It's a full-on sport. And this is where I'm going to get controversial. Golf, in my opinion, is probably... Yeah. Golf is probably one of the toughest sports. Now let me explain my point of view here, okay? All sports are tough. I don't care what sport it is. It's tough. There's a reason why it is a sport. There's a reason why you have to be an athlete to play these sports. Anywhere from baseball to golf, all of them. Here's why I say that golf is one of the toughest sports for you to play. You can be fast, you can be strong. Take football, for example. If you are super fast and you can catch a ball, a little bit of coaching, you're a receiver. You're super strong, a little bit of coaching, you can be a lineman. You can be a tight end. With the right coaching, you can be that player. And once you gain those skills, it's really difficult to lose them. Once you have that speed, especially if you look at athletes, especially on the pro level, they're training nonstop. So if they're fast, it's not like they're gonna get slow. The only thing that's gonna make them slow down is age, and then and that's when they retire. Same with baseball. You learn how to throw a baseball, you're not gonna forget how to throw a baseball the next day. You're not gonna wake up and be like, oh my gosh, why can't I throw a baseball anymore? Now my baseball's going right into the ground. I'm throwing the baseball up in the air. No, you know how to throw a baseball. If I wake up one morning and I throw a baseball, you're gonna catch it. The next day, I wake up, I'm gonna throw you the exact same ball. Every time. Right to you. You're not gonna forget. Golf is literally different every single day. I wake up one day, boom, right down the middle. Perfect. I wake up the next day, the ball isn't even close to going where I want it to go. I want it to go this way, it goes that way, or that way, or that way. And you have to compensate for it. These guys have to play 4 days in a row, which is similar to a lot of sports. You look at hockey or basketball, they're playing every other day, sometimes days back to back. You have to be an absolute athlete, And I'm not saying golfers are going to be the most fit guys and the most fast guys, because obviously, now I'm not saying you have to be the most built athlete ever to be a golfer. That's not true. I mean, you can be in a lot of different shapes and sizes to play golf. It's all about the technique. Now, obviously, it's helpful to be fit, when playing golf. Just the mentality of it, just the technique itself. Every day is different. You're facing outdoor conditions. You got the wind and the time of day. Now, obviously, that's the same thing in other sports. Football, you're kicking a field goal. Sometime you might have the sun right in your eyes and wind right in your face or going sideways. But those kickers, they learn how to kick, and they're not going to forget how to kick the next day. They're going to kick it, and it's going to go towards their target. Most of the time, they're going to make it. From a reasonable distance, they're going to make it every time. Now, sometimes they get farther back. And don't get me wrong, there are some kicks where the ball goes nowhere near the way they want it. Hook it like crazy, and it goes way left. Yeah, that sucks. Actually, if you think about it, kicking in football, you can actually relate to golf quite a bit. Most of the time, the professionals are going to hit it right where they want it every time. But once in a while, the ball just goes somewhere else. Nowhere where you wanted it to go. That's just me. That is my unpopular opinion. Okay, golf, one of the toughest sports to play. Also, I wanted to get into, is golf a team sport? You look at college, you look at high school, you have the golf team. They're a team. They compete as a team. Do they really, though? I've spent my time playing on golf teams. And yes, you go to a tournament and you're a team. At the end of the day, the team that did the best gets the trophy and the picture, and you leave happy or you leave disappointed. But during the tournament, it doesn't exactly feel like it. A lot of times you get paired up with somebody on your team, and then you play against either one other team of two guys or two teams with two guys on each team. And a lot of times you can actually help each other. Sometimes they don't even let you. You have to play by yourself. You're playing with one of your teammates, but really you're just playing with somebody you know. You're still playing your own game. They can't help you. You can't help them. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can help them, figure out what club to hit or where the ball's going. But a lot of times they don't let you. How is that a team sport right there? Not to mention the competition within. When I'm golfing with one of my teammates, sure, I want them to play well. I want them to beat the other guy. In my mind, I'm beating everybody here. You. I'm sure it's the same. Like if you take football, for example, and you have your receivers, I'm sure the receiver, is going to think that the ball should be thrown to them every time. They're going to have the most yards and the most touchdown. That's just that inner competition. So if you think about it that way, sure, golf can be considered a team sport. But here's the thing, though. They can talk on the sidelines. They can help each other with routes in the huddle. the audibles, like they're all communicating with each other. In most tournaments, you can't do that with your teammates for golf. Really, the whole point of having a team is just so you're golfing with a couple people that you know, and then people that you don't know on other teams. And then you're wearing the same color shirts. That's about it. I don't really know anything else besides that. Anyway, that's Unpopular Opinion for you. Hopefully I didn't make too many people too upset. If you agree with me, great. If not, it's just something we're giving a try. If you're not a big fan of it, let me know in the comments. That is a tool that I really want to use and I want you guys to utilize. So please let me know in the comments, what are your favorite segments of each episode? And then so we can keep on doing those, and then we can introduce new ones and see which ones you guys really like. So I actually want to end it with one last segment, and this one is just simply a quiz. It'll be some sort of trivia. I have no idea what I'm going to name it. Where's 384 Trivia? Yeah, 384 Trivia. Yeah, great. This one I'm probably going to just throw in there just because it doesn't take up too much time. I'll probably throw in every episode where I'm just going to throw a question out there and let me know in the comments what you think. And if you get it right, we'll get into some prizes next episode. Maybe we'll have a couple of special giveaways. Might give you a shout out on the show. Maybe even have you for a little interview. For this episode, I think we're actually going to have 2 trivia questions. The first one's going to be a little difficult. It might take a while for some people to catch on to. And so the second one I'll have a little bit easier so we can at least have a winner for the first episode. Number 1, the 384 show. The title itself, 384. Eventually I looked up and saw, looked for different area codes and made sure that this one was kind of unique, but it did come from something, and your only hint was that it was motivated through a TV show. All I want to know, what is the TV show? Whatever you think that TV show is, put it in the comment below, and if you are the first person to get it right, you will win, yes, new pair of Bose Sound Sport earbuds. A brand new box specifically made for iPod, iPhone, iPad. They work perfectly. All the buttons, great microphone, fitting in the ear for when you want to jog or want to run. It does also work for Android. I've tested, not this specific pair because these ones are unopened. They do work. They sound awesome. Definitely one of the best sounding headphones that you could ask for. Bose is always awesome when it comes to sound quality. They're great. Just try. Just give it a shot. And if, see if you get it right. As for the second question, I'm actually not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I feel like I'm going to run out of quiz questions after like 4 episodes. So either way, that is it for this episode of the 384 show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Just remember, let me know what your favorite segments are. We'll keep those, and we have at least 3 other segments that we have not done yet. So tune in for episode 2, 3, 4, all of them. Make sure you stay tuned because we have big plans coming up. We got big interviews with some really fun people. We have all kinds of stuff. If you like the talk show, we got the talk show. We have a gaming series coming out. We got ghost hunting coming as soon as this quarantine settles down. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure you don't miss anything. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell so you stay updated on things going on. All right, but until then, I don't have a closer yet. How am I supposed to close these shows? Didgeridoo. Bye? Yeah.